Proverbs 6:26. The whorish woman is a grave threat to every man who wants to be wise and righteous. What would make a young man, 21 years old, with millions of dollars, what would make him settle down with a 40-year-old has-been, a woman who has been ran through by the majority of NBA players, a woman who has done some of the most obscene things, going from man to man to man to man? It's obviously she's money hungry. It's obviously she's in it for the money, because she's only dating the same type of dudes within the same circle. What would make a man, a young man, 21 years old, who has access to women who have less mileage, wetter vagina, what would make him want to settle down with a woman twice his age, have a baby, have a family in the same work environment that he works in? He's part of this NBA family. If you guys haven't heard, this is old news. Draya, Michelle, and Jalen Green plays for the Houston Rockets. They in a relationship. They have a little kid together, a little baby girl. What would make him want to do this? After knowing the stories, it's not like he doesn't know the stories. It's not like he's not aware. He's aware, but yet he still thinks this is a good idea. He's still going through with settling down with this woman despite knowing her history, her track record. Solomon says, a whorish woman is a grave threat to every man who wants to be wise and righteous. See, this baby for her is, it's a meal ticket, right? It extends her whorish career another 20 years, because if he decides to leave or whatever the case may be, he's on the hook financially for this child for at least 18 years, just to take her till she's about 58, 60. Could it be that she has placed this young man under a spell to capture his soul? See, this is why it's important. You have to watch who you lay down with. You have to watch who you decide to be intimate with. And when you do these things outside of God's parameters, this is what you open yourself up to. You open yourself up to soul capture. I believe, again, this is just speculation, I believe his soul has been captured, because it doesn't make any logical sense to me. You always had that crew where when you're younger, and it's always that one guy who falls in love with the girl that everybody's ran through. It's that one guy who falls in love with her. And it's like, no, don't do it. No, don't do it. No. It's that one guy. He forgets everything, and he falls in love. And he tries to make her into something that she is not. That's the problem. His soul has been captured. Jalen Green, man, he can have all the young girls he wants. He can have all the young girls he wants. With millions of dollars, NBA career, why does he need this 40-year-old woman who's been ran through probably more times than a porn star by NBA players who actually document this? They talk about it on their podcast. Gilbert Arenas talked about what she was doing in the back seat of his car with other NBA players. But yet he still decides to get into a relationship with the woman, and he knows her history. He knows it. It doesn't make sense to me. This is why I believe he's under some type of a spell, under some type of spiritual manipulation that's causing him to want to be in a relationship with a woman who is twice his age. And he's probably looking at what he's probably experiencing is infatuation. He's probably experiencing very, very high emotional, intense feelings for this woman. She's created a fantasy for him, and he's been overtaken by it to some degree, to a big degree. And it just begs the question, is he under a spell? Will he snap out of it? By the time you snap out of it, bro, the damage has been done. You're already locked in financially. So no matter what you do, you got to pay 20 years, and it's going to be big boy dollars because you're in the NBA. So she's locked in her financial security for the next 20 years. She's not in this for the love. Draya's not in this for the love, in my opinion. She's not in this for the love. The question is, guys, those of you who subscribe to the channel, those of you who watch the channel, by the way, hit the like button for your boy, man, because it goes a long way. You have to watch, pay attention to who you lay down with, who you decide to be intimate with, because these type of things happen. These women will capture your soul. If you're trying to be wise and righteous, the whorish woman is going to prevent you from being able to do that. Why? Because your thinking is going to be manipulated. It's going to be distorted. She's going to lead you. You're a lamb being led to the slaughter, bro. This is what it is. Sex is a gateway. It is a portal. Those of you who cannot control your sexual desires, you will suffer the punishment. You will suffer. You will suffer. You will suffer. No matter what you achieve in life, you will lose it just like that. Why? Because you have no control over your desires. You have no control over your sexual emotions. You have to understand something. The world has portrayed masculinity as having as many women as you can, sleeping with as many women as you can. That is what makes a man a man. But this is quite the opposite of what is really true. What makes a man, a high-level man, a high-value man, a godly man, is the man's ability to commune with God and see those things which are unseen. You have to be spiritually connected to be able to see the snares and the traps that the enemy has laid out for you. You can't let a pretty face and a thin waist throw you off your path, throw you off your center. These manipulations will come. These are manipulations. This is witchcraft. These are spells. This is the changing of your emotions, the changing of the way you think by presenting certain situations, projecting things into your mind in order to get you to react. If you don't have the Spirit of God, you're going to fall prey to these type of manipulations. Proverbs 6:26, the whorish woman is a grave threat. This means she's a deadly threat to any of you who wants to be wise and righteous. She's a deadly threat to any one of you who's watching this channel. If you want to be wise and righteous, a whorish woman is a deadly threat. This young man doesn't really understand. He's young. Maybe he doesn't have a father. I don't know his real story. But maybe he doesn't have a father. Let him know, hey, son, it's not what you want to do. You need to dodge this one. Don't play around with that. Nah, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Scrap up, do something, but don't lock in with that. But this is what happens. Once you have sex with a person, you've unlocked your spiritual codes. You've unlocked the spiritual codes. You've unlocked the doors. You've left the door open, and you've invited them in. You've invited them in. You've allowed them to access you through the portal of sex. You hand them the keys, right? And if they are spiritually inclined and you're not, they can take from you. She's taking from him right now. But because he thinks he has a lot of money and he has this and that, It doesn't matter. I could pay for whatever. Da, da, da. This is the deception that you're under. You're under this deception because you don't know what tomorrow holds. You don't know what tomorrow holds. You understand what I'm saying? Hit that like button for your boy. You don't know what tomorrow holds. So you're living today with no regard for tomorrow. I think she put him on the love spell, guys. I think she sized him up. She made him feel like he was the man. She made him feel like he conquered her. She gave him all of the masculine emotions that he was seeking. She let him feel as if he had won. She created herself to be something to be desired, even though she's basically a whore. She's a woman who had many partners. But she created this situation to where he desired her, and she let him believe that he conquered her. And he thinks that now he's won the prize. But you didn't win no prize. You didn't win a prize, bro. You didn't win. You did this knowing the history. I'm sure somebody told him. I'm sure someone told him. How could they have not? Her life is well documented. She's been on reality TV shows. It is not a secret. You could have done your research. But this is what he decided to do. Or this is what he was manipulated into doing, because that one night of pleasure that he was seeking trapped his soul. I'm telling you guys, love spells, these demonic spells are real, and you don't really know why you're doing the things you're doing. When you don't understand your actions and it doesn't make sense, you really need to pray. You really need to step back and assess things, because you could really be in a situation that is not going to end well for you. Someone asked me today, how do you get free from a love spell? It's only one way. It's Christ. It is Jesus Christ. That's it, bro. That's the only power that can destroy demonic forces. People go back and forth putting witchcraft on each other, going back and forth, back and forth. With that, whoever has the most skill is going to come out on top. But when you have God on your side, when you have Christ on your side, you can't lose. You can't. You can't lose. So, listen. Pay attention, man. A lot of you are sleeping with the devil. You are sleeping with the devil. Man, I remember I had this girl. She was, I had got her number, and we were talking a little bit. It's just a little text. This situation was being escalated fast. So this is when I was, doing my thing. I wasn't living right, but I had this mindset that, I didn't want to sleep with another man's wife. So what happened was she was sending me pictures and all kind of stuff like this. And in the midst of her texting me, she said something about her husband. And I said, you're married? And she's like, oh, but he lives in another state and we're not together. Conversation over. Conversation is over. Nah, I ain't doing it. She was like, oh, but doing it. Nah, bruh. I deleted all her pictures off my phone. Little videos. I deleted all of it. I don't want no parts. Nah, I ain't doing that. I can't. Nah, dog. I can't do it. I don't want that curse. I don't want that curse on me. You feel what I'm saying? But that could have been a soul capture. What if she hadn't mentioned that she was married? What if she hadn't mentioned it? And I'm thinking everything, you know what I'm saying? I'm going over there and I'm smashing. Not knowing that I'm smashing another man's wife. You got to be careful, guys. You really do. You got to guard your heart with all diligence. You got to protect your eye gates, your ear gates. You got to disassociate yourself with people who are going to lead you down the wrong path. You got to commit to prayer. You got to commit to fasting. You have to commit to these things. You cannot overcome sin by mere willpower. You have to get stronger spiritually by utilizing those spiritual weapons. And a lot of you are not utilizing the weapons, which is why you find yourself continuing to be in a deficit. You have to come and ask for forgiveness for the same sins over and over and over again. You're not seeing any real success over lust and temptation. Because you haven't elevated in the realms. You haven't elevated spiritually to live above these vibrations, these low, lustful vibrations. So I urge you, man. I urge you to pray consistently, predictably. I urge you to try to find a time where you can pray the same time every single day. Best time, me, in my opinion, is between 12 and 3 a.m., sometime between there. And be consistent with that, man. Yeah, it might be a sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice that you have to make. You have to make it. You have to, because your life is at stake here. Otherwise, you get caught up in one of these moments here. And that's not what I want for you. That's not what God wants for you. He wants you to be able to overcome. He doesn't want you to have to tell these war stories of how you got tripped up by these females. Just take the advice now. Take the wisdom now and avoid those pitfalls. This is Home and Us Podcast, man. I hope you got value out of this video, man. Hit the like button for your boy. I'm going to holler at you in the next one.